Hey guys, it's Angelo, and yeah, thanks for tuning in. I'm here with my 2021 Aprilia Tuono factory, and it's been really an exciting bike. But at highway speeds, not having the full fairing effect, you can definitely feel the wind beating down on you. So for this little upgrade, I got the PowerBronze double bubble, and I'm really excited to see it, how it feels. The installation should be fairly easy. It looks like it's about 4 bolts. I'll do it quickly and show you because it's very straightforward and should have a very positive effect on the riding. I would say riding position, and also just being not as beat up after a long ride, especially in highway speeds. So let's jump into it. So from an installation standpoint, it's rather easy. Like I said, it's going to be these bolts here: 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's small Allen, I believe 2.5 and millimeter, and you can see here. So definitely should be fairly straightforward. There is a washer holding this in, so you got to be very careful, especially since it's not magnetic. So you just got to be taking your time. Don't rush through things. You don't want to lose hardware, fall between the fairing and the instrument cluster there. So just take your time. And for a product from PowerBronze, it comes into this nice little bag, some protection on it, and then of course having the necessary hardware here. So like I said, this is fairly straightforward. Definitely unpack everything. Make sure you have all the hardware, right, as far as the washers and the screws or bolts, and then effectively just make sure, of course, the instructions are in there. But like anything, when you're getting something from shipping, make sure that you inspect the windscreen for any cracks, any damages. You wouldn't want to go through all the effort of taking it apart and then there's scratches and damages and you have to return it. So very important. I really like it. I went with a light effect. It's like a light tint, and it has a nice kind of branding here, PowerBronze. It looks fairly high quality. I can't really say anything negative about it, and definitely going to be doing a review at speed, and I'll let you guys know. But nonetheless, it's again a very quality piece, and the way it arrived, it has all, there's no rough edges. The holes are, I would say, drilled very nicely. It looks very well made. There's no distortion in the in the visibility standpoint, and I'm really excited to put it on. So with that, I'm going to start by undoing these bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4, like I said, and yeah, just going through it. Alright, so I'm just going to start taking this kind of slowly, taking this screw off, and as soon as I'm done, so you kind of, once you feel it almost out, you can see there's a washer that's holding the windscreen, and the backing of it is like a rubber kind of mounting backing, so just take your time. And I'm taking it out now, and the trick is to use the screw itself. Very small, so again, be very careful, because you don't want to lose the washer right into the bike. And I'm going to continue now with the rest of them. Setting it aside. So I'm doing now the screw towards the center, right hand, brake side, brake handlebar side, and same thing. Again, just kind of, once you feel it getting loose, just slowly turn it. I already got the washer behind my nail, so now it's just a matter of fishing it out. again, right? 2. So far it looks like all the same size, right? And you know, a good habit, of course, is, you know, when you're done, you know, put this one, all the screws into a little baggie, some type of Ziploc, label it, and I would recommend taping it to the windscreen. All right, so all 4 out. So yeah, I mean, from a difficulty standpoint, it's definitely not difficult, right? So I would recommend you guys really do this by yourselves. So again, nothing wrong with my factory windscreen. It's, you know, great condition, but I really wanted more protection at highway speeds. You can see it's very low profile, and you know, in comparison to the PowerBronze, you can see the double bubble effect, and you know, from a comparison standpoint, the PowerBronze, like you could see it, it's much higher, right? Visually even, and that should have an effect definitely at speed. So I'm really excited to try this one out, especially as this is one of the first new products for this bike, and yeah, so again, it's having a shorter fit kind of windscreen and less fairing for wind protection at speed. Nonetheless, something like this, it should help both at the racetrack, but also in like daily commuting and getting beat up by the air hitting your chest and your helmet. So really providing stability and helping for those longer rides, right, especially. So now I'm going to install the 4 washers, right? So you just lay them in place. You can, you know, some people are a little bit more like worried about it, and they kind of put something to kind of glue it one way, shape, or form. I'm going to see if I can get away with not doing it, but these ones in the middle are a little bit more vertical, and I think these are the ones that are going to be a little bit more difficult. So you can try wetting them, right? Or you can even put like a light kind of like grease just to, so that it gets positioned. I wouldn't recommend anything like adhesive that's like really heavy duty. I would just really use something for placement purposes. And you know, I also wanted to share like another hack. You can actually use, like if you're having kids, you know, like just a little bit of Elmer's glue, right? Like craft glue. You don't want to put too much of it. You literally just dab it on just to help positioning, and this will kind of, you know, effectively, you know, keep it in place. But I'm really not putting in, you know, a substantial amount at all. It's just really to keep it from moving around. And then we take the windscreen and we're going to position it. I'm just going to slowly with the mounting, keeping it all together, and really doing this loosely, right? You don't want to tighten down. Like, you need to, I would say, use this more for kind of locating the windscreen and the washers accordingly, so that you have it in the general vicinity and effectively the washers are not moving around any further. And I'll get a close-up shot of this before I tighten things down, so you could see there, right? You can see them loosely on there. Okay, so now that you know they're, you know, the washers are there, the screws, don't forget to use the original washers on these, right? So don't, again, once you kind of have located them, you know, you could have probably located them with the washers, but I just don't want to lose the washers, right? So I'm going to do this one by one in order of procedure for tightening them down. So of course this one first, right? so that's in. Then kind of cross side, and then taking the original washer and putting it, so you're reusing the OEM washer with the screws from the PowerBronze kit, right? So, because the PowerBronze kit doesn't come with the washers, so you just got to make sure, like additional washers, I would say, on top of the windscreen, because the ones they provide you go underneath the windscreen, and you want to reuse the factory washers that go on top, right? So you just can't, don't forget that, because effectively you could tighten it down and either scratch the PowerBronze windscreen or, you know, crack it, right? So this kind of helps with distributing it, especially during mounting and, you know, tightening it. So let's jump right into it. So you have to get behind it as it locates, and then just screw it to the right. There's nothing challenging again with this. It's just fairly straightforward, right? Just tighten them down, not too tight initially. You just want to make sure the windscreen moves around a little bit and locates within the fairing, right? So like, there's no kind of overlap or you know, any kind of misalignment, like over the original fairing, OEM fairing, right? So once you're having the kind of general mounting, right, and that's, you know, you could feel the tension as you're tightening it down, right? You kind of just go one at a time until the windscreen is sitting flush with the bodywork, right? So making sure there's proper spacing and it's not on top. So then just tighten this down again, just kind of cross pattern, and effectively then it'll be done. And now up close shot, right? So, you know, the fit and finish, you know, it's very flush, right? So it goes along the body line, no issues on the fairing here, no, you know, major gaps to report. So once you again you know, do the kind of crosshatch pattern and you get this located correctly, you know, to go through it like 2 or 3 times just to make sure, because it does pull itself in, right, to the fairing, into the mounting. But again, very nice upgrade. Visually, it looks great, right? And you can see kind of where the factory would end here. You know, there's some added protection, and you know, just like a comparison basis there. I mean, that's, you know, that's going to translate to more comfort, more protection when production at highway speed. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more videos of the build, definitely, you know, leave some comments and let me know what you want to see. And of course, like the video if you did, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for joining, guys, and until the next one, take care.